long time, I've kind of felt like, man, I wish I could send him out into the community, out to school, with a sign on him that says, hey, I'm doing my best. I really don't understand. Some of these things are really hard. Please be kind.
Like so many special needs parents, Heather Davis wants the very best for her son, Justin. After suffering brain damage as a young child in an abusive home, he was taken in by Heather and her husband. That was over 20 years ago, and ever since, this devoted Eagle mother has been dedicated to making her son feel happy and loved. Look at this. She wrote a book called Into Justin's World, and that's exactly what it is, a look into his magical world. A book that is now helping other kids with special needs feel seen. Maggie O'Mara has the story in tonight's 7's Hero.
Justin is a 28-year-old man who interacts with the world and interprets the world like a 4-year-old. He's a miracle. It's amazing that he's able to walk and talk and do all the things that he can do.
Justin was removed from an abusive home and joined the Davis family when he was just 6. He's been surrounded by love and brothers and sisters ever since.
He's the oldest of my 8 children, and he's had to watch all of his 7 younger siblings learn to drive. And that was so hard for him. And he would say, Mom, my legs are big like yours. I want to drive.
Throughout Justin's life, Mom Heather Davis has always come up with ways to make him feel included and independent, even when it came to driving.
When I got some really good suggestions, and one of them was to try the scooters that sometimes people who have mobility issues will use, to kind of scoot around. And so we tried it, and he's awesome. I mean, the video's amazing. He's so good on it. And he loves it, and that's his motorcycle.
It hasn't always been an easy road, though.
And as he's gotten older, kind of starting in middle school, it got harder and harder for people to really understand his challenges and to be as compassionate as I know they would be if they understood. But he has a really hard time interacting with other people because he's a 28-year-old man that wants to interact like a 4-year-old. So he wants to give hugs, and he wants to get really close to people. And in his mind, everybody is his friend. Justin has such a neat way of looking at the world.
When the pandemic began, it was tough for Justin to get out and be social.
We couldn't take him places to go and get fresh air and exercise because he's not a good social distancer. And so that made it really hard. So we figured out we could take him to the beautiful Boise Greenbelt.
And on one of those walks, something special happened.
This huge fish came swimming up to right on the surface, right up just as close to him as he could get. And Justin just sat there and talked to this fish for like 15 minutes. And as we were leaving, Justin told me about all the things he would do with the fish. He would go and talk to the frogs, and they'd see the birds.
Heather is a writer, and Justin's encounter with that fish inspired her to write a book about his magical world.
I wanted to share it from Justin's point of view. I felt like that was really important, that it wasn't me telling his story, but it was the way he tells his story. Usually, when you see a story about children with developmental disabilities on the bookshelves in stores, the story is about that disability, explaining the disability or helping them to overcome it. I didn't want this to be that. I wanted it to be a story that just had someone like my son having a fun, magical experience. And so it shows him. It very much shows who he is and some of the challenges he has. But then it also shows this like beauty and magic that he sees in the world that the rest of us don't see. He wants to be the brave boy that can jump in the water and swim with the fish. That's his desire. But this sensory stuff is so hard for him. And so he can do it in his imagination.
Next up, getting the book out to families. Heather started a Kickstarter campaign.
So Kickstarter is like a pre-order. And the purpose of Kickstarter is to get the word out, but also to get the funds to print it.
She was blown away by the reaction. And the best part, she met her goal of raising over $5,000.
Our Boise community has has really responded and supported.
Heather Davis says her son is always inspiring her to do more.
And the reason I did it is because I really, really feel strongly that this is a story that needs to be out there so that the other children who have these challenges like my son can see themselves in a story.
They are both 7's heroes.
Yes, they are, Maggie. They are both heroes. A portion of the proceeds will go to Camp Rainbow Gold so kids with cancer and their families can experience summer camp in the Idaho outdoors. The book donation will go to help build a universally inclusive playground for the children. Into Justin's World can now be purchased at the Idaho History Museum and Barnes & Noble, as well as Amazon and on Heather's website. We've got all that information for you at ktvb.com.